And welcome in, everyone. I hope you were all enjoying a nice weekend. At least for us here, where I live in Western Germany, it's has been a very pleasant day today. So finally, we are going to work on my bot, which I have talked about on stream during the Beat Saber sessions quite a lot. So and finally I am today taking the time to actually work on it. So let me quickly close up some tabs here to get cleared up a bit. So, perfect. No. Oh. Let me switch scenes. So, yeah, what you're seeing here is Visual Studio for Mac 2022 preview. And so the bot itself that I have been working on in the past few months to proxy the YouTube commands, not YouTube command, sorry, to proxy over the commands from Twitch chat to YouTube and to Beat Saber. So and this is written now as a .NET worker service application, and yeah, it's pretty simple. So basically, the main part is this worker class here, where I'm including all the libraries that are needed, like. Here we have all the stuff for YouTube. This is the stuff for Twitch. And down below we have the stuff for Discord. And yeah, here are just some comfort functionalities like logging and all the properties that we need. And basically here is the configuration, which was read from the app settings files here. So in the repository you will find the app settings JSON and the app settings development JSON .sample. I excluded this one intentionally because this currently has my my final settings in it. Let me quickly check before I reveal any keys. No, okay, that one is empty. I actually made a mistake porting the stuff over to the new project, which I already set up in advance, since I am doing a window capture for showing you this, and I don't know if the dialogues for creating the project are actually shown when I'm in window capture mode, so I skipped that step. So that's not fun. Now I can go back. And we are back with the screen share. Yeah, so basically here's the initializer that does all the setup. it checks if in the configuration YouTube is enabled. So if I open this one, you can see here there is a flag for enable YouTube and enable Discord. There is no option to disable Twitch, because Twitch is basically the anchor point for the whole bot, and therefore it doesn't make sense to leave that out. And yeah, so I am still not fully used to the new interface. I'm instead of closing tabs, I'm pinning them and so on and so forth. Yeah, so then yeah, here is the Discord setup, reading all the information from the configuration, and of course the Twitch setup that is also read from the configuration. And this is basically the keep alive method for the worker, and then we get to all the command handling stuff, but you can check that out in the repository. Let me quickly get that up. GitHub. So let's see if it's a capture Safari. So as you can see, this is my public GitHub profile, and the bot is here. And yeah, so this is actually in a usable state. As you can see, I forked the Chatwell library, and I had to make some changes to this, so it actually works for the duration of my Beat Saber streams. So the default interval for these let me quickly switch over. So basically, when I go into the project, you have here the YouTube chat client, and it has where is it? It has a polling interval, and this was defined in a way that basically gets the interval from Google, so the allowed interval, or it goes to, I think, 1 second, or even less. I'm not sure right now what the default was, and basically within half an hour or an hour max, the bot used up all the allowed API calls to the Google APIs, and then I played around with polling intervals, and after a bit of try and error, I settled on 5,000, and that seems to have worked fine during the last couple of streams, and there were actually no issues. And the YouTube integration itself now works pretty well. The only issue basically currently is when you are running, when you basically have to re-authenticate with Twitch, you have to do that manually. And that's something I would like to change with the changes with the refactoring that we're at least starting today. I'm not sure if we are going to finish it today, but we're at least going to try. Hi Corbin, welcome in. How are you doing today? Just realized I had that I should have a look at chat. So yeah, what I want to change actually is when I go back. So as I said a moment ago, the plan is to have the callback that Twitch does be properly handled by the bot itself, and since I want to handle various also overlays for my streams also via this bot in the future, so I want to have some dynamic configuration, some dynamic display, and I'm currently starting in general to learn Microsoft Blazor, which is basically Microsoft's answer to React and Angular. So it is based on, of course, the whole .NET ecosystem, but basically you have all the advantages of Angular and React basically built into it. And yeah, so the nice thing is you can run Blazor in two different ways. So the project that I've set up here now is a so-called Blazor server project. You can also set it up as a Blazor client project, or it's not called Blazor client project. It is called Blazor WebAssembly, if I remember correctly. Let me just check what's Visual Studio says at the moment what it's called properly, because that might have changed, so I don't tell you something wrong. It is called, yeah, Blazor WebAssembly, and the main difference for that basically is that the Blazor server project is more like a traditional ASP.NET MVC project that runs everything basically from the server, and it is integrate basically all transparent from the server side. For the WebAssembly version, that's basically different, because you're serving to the client basically the whole .NET application that is actually run in the browser context, and they have some quite interesting stuff for that. Let me just check Blazor GitHub examples, because they have quite a big list of demos. Let me just quickly check if I can find that. No, not really. No, I can't find it right now. But there is basically a page where you can see all the various implementations. They actually have Doom 3 running in that particular context. So, in theory, since this is .NET and Unity is .NET, that would mean you could, for example, in theory, run Beat Saber in a browser, which is pretty crazy to speak of. So that's pretty powerful. You can do quite a lot with it. And yeah, I'm just getting around to learning that. But the nice thing is, when you did some ASP.NET and ASP.NET MVC work in the past, it's a lot of reusing of previous knowledge, and it's a lot of stuff is very transparent for coding. So pretty nice thing. Yeah, and I'm showing off the Git. No, I already changed that. So yeah, let's get back to some coding. So what I already did for the updated project, I already copied over all the important settings. I also took care of data management. I'm reusing a logic for interacting with Mongodb, which is a document database, and basically I switched to that as an alternative to when I was working for for one of my previous employers. We were using Azure Cosmos DB for a project, and yeah, that gets pretty expensive pretty quickly, and we were then looking for an alternative, and it was pretty nice to see that converting from Cosmos DB to MongoDB was not that difficult. So I basically reused most of the logic that we had for that particular project. And when you look at this code here, you have the singleton handling all the interactions with the database. Here we create the connections, and we have the database set up here, where it's basically transparent. So you have the initialization for your various tables right here in the data. Right here, and if it already exists, it is basically just checking, does that table already exist? If not, if yes, then basically it does nothing. So it's fine to have it in the initialization. And also what is in here is something for checking the indices for the different tables. Where is it? I think it's down here. This even has blob storage support, so that you can upload, for example, full files to the database. And this will basically become also part of the Git repository. So if you need a good solution for handling MongoDB with .NET application, this is a good approach to use. I'm using this, or I have been using this really in a customer project with basically thousands of clients that are accessing the system via an API, and it is running basically rock solid. So this is good code, which has been operating now for 1.5 years in production. So this is all fine. So this is basically just validating that the particular tables are properly indexed, so that you can because most of the time you're referencing the document ID, and this makes sure that the document ID, which you see here, is basically always indexed properly. And And yeah, what I want to do is basically create a solution where we can run most of the settings from database. So the application loads the settings initially from the configuration file, but afterwards basically save them to a MongoDB database. I'm actually not showing here how a MongoDB database is set up. I have a MongoDB server running locally in my network, and we are going to utilize that for these purposes. So yeah, so that's that setup part. But I actually, when you look at the errors, I am still missing something. I am missing the Newtons of JSON NuGet package, which, because it's so heavily used, is here right away. I don't have to search for it. Let's add that. Let's have a look at package console. Ah, it's already done. One of the reasons why I am actually rocking Visual Studio 2022 preview here on this system is this is a one of the new MacBook Pros, and the new Visual Studio is now fully optimized for ARM. So this is running much better than the old Visual Studio 2019. So the 2019 was lagging a lot, and this one is so smooth. It still has some quirks at the moment, but I have to say the performance alone was reason enough to switch to this fully for me. So yeah, let's we don't need this. We definitely need the worker configuration, and yeah, let's since we added this, let's build it and see what it does. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That I have to fix quickly. So what I also have most of the time in my web applications, or in my applications in general, is a means to basically have proper logging. And let me quickly grab that. So we are going to create a new folder. We call that shared. Oh, I already have a shared folder. Yeah, and that's used for Razor files. No, then we call it something different. Then we call this helpers. Yes. And we are going to steal from another project. So, no, that was the wrong one. Since I also have to get some subfolder. So. There we go. So we need the events folder and we need the tracks, yes. Okay. Now we need our namespace, so I can actually fix that. Helpers. Oh no, now it copied me over the... yes. That's not what I wanted. Hello? Yeah, I'm just seeing it doesn't capture the dialogues at all that are popping up. So basically, when you see that the window go dark a bit, it's basically showing me a pop-up. So yeah, we need our namespace. Put it in here. So for everyone not familiar with .NET, this helpers events. So putting something in the root namespace has the advantage of making it available basically in the whole namespace. So when I'm now here in the data context, you see here this is now stream cmd proxy 2.data. But when I go down where we have the error handling, it sees now the track class properly exposed. And we are taking this one, calling this helpers events, because I actually don't know if I really need events in this application. Might be, but I would rather use other means. Yeah. Did I actually publish that package? I'm not sure right now. Let me check that first before I tell you something that is not correct. Okay, no, I did not publish that. Yet. But basically, what I implemented quite a while back was a very simple implementation of a message bus system for .NET to replace the standard .NET event system, because the standard .NET event system is basically single threaded, so you're always basically in the same thread. And when you, depending on what kind of application you're writing, it is pretty bad to have everything in a single thread. So I wrote that, I think also almost 2 years ago, to facilitate event handling in mobile apps that we were writing at the time. And this is really generic stuff, so I'm not giving away company secrets or something. It's because what that code was based on was basically a public example, and I wanted to put it in a GitHub repository so that It's easily usable and maintainable, and can be reused straight out of Nougat.org. And yeah, I have to remember to do that. Perhaps we can do that also on stream at some point. Yeah. I'm getting a bit off tangent today all the time. Okay, yeah, so now that that part is there, let's recompile again. And we're clean. So, perfect. Now we have a clean template to start with. And yeah, this at the moment is... so if I run the application... let me just do this. Should not give me any problems. Yeah. So I put up Safari here. Let me quickly resize that. So this is basically the default template for Blazor. It is a very basic example. You have some custom controls that they basically use here. For example, this counter, where you can just increase the counter, and this is an example for data fetching. So we are basically going to reuse this style for the management part of the application, and I have to check how I can basically disable the default layout for when we are creating the section where we can do overlays for inclusion into OBS. Because one of the things that I would like to do with Blazor is basically have different kinds of overlays that I can use on stream. So, for example, when I'm doing the podcast and I have multiple topics, so that you can have, let me switch scene quickly. So basically, when we're in the podcast mode, or like now, this is my just chatting scene. So my idea is basically to have here in that in that particular area here in this particular area, basically I want to have an overlay that shows different topics I'm talking about, and which I can basically click through via the UI, so I can actually highlight the topic that I'm currently talking about. That makes stuff a lot easier to follow, especially when someone is not following the stream at the full at the whole time. Sorry, and it also makes it easier for the recording when people are following the topics on YouTube and they perhaps don't want to listen to everything. So it makes stuff a little bit easier. And yeah, so that's one thing that I want to do. So this is now up and running with all the sample stuff. I don't think that we are going to mess with this already today, but let's see. So what I want to do actually first is I have to remember to switch scenes. And okay, back to Visual Studio. And what I want to do first is actually I want to copy over our workers service from the other project. Completely. So let's see how this is set up. So we have okay, this is just this one. Okay, configure service. Then we're going to steal that, and we're going over here as well. So this is a bit different, since this is now not a background service, but this is now a this is now the ASP.NET application, and this is builder services. Add here we have add hosted service. Yeah, basically this replaces all of this directly. Zip. So it's here you basically now see one of the quirks. Normally this should now be marked as an error. It's not underlined red because we are still in the wrong namespace here. So let me change that. And yeah, we will need that one as well. Why is it not showing up? That's interesting. Interesting. Or no, not recognized. Interesting. This is Visual Studio Beta, so don't be surprised. Yeah, it's set to compile. Oui. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's you just this was yeah, Visual Studio just, or that particular instance just died on me. Let me switch quickly scenes so I can actually fix that. Of course, the peer review has to die on me today. Of course. Yeah, perfect. It already captured the new win. Or? No, it did not. Okay. Interesting. OBS is still showing an app that is not open anymore. Let me fix that. That was nice. I have to edit this out next time. Or was it already showing that? Yeah, it is already showing that. Nice! So I just exposed my credentials. So, yeah. I will be resetting those later. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for crashing on me and remembering a wrong state of the application, Visual Studio. Awesome. And yeah, it doesn't see that worker. So let's see. I have to copy over this part as well. Copy. New folder. YouTube. So the structure is the same. Insert. Proxy 2 should be correct. And yeah, what we also need to do is now include all the... Oh, of course, it's having trouble. Because we are missing dependencies. We need dependency-wise. We need Discord.net, TwitchLib. So let's grab those. Nah, you're not seeing the window now. Discord.net and TwitchLib. The other one was Google APIs YouTube v3. Google APIs YouTube v3. Okay, let's grab all these. That takes a while now, since it's checking all the dependencies. Takes a while. So, yeah. Accept. You don't see that at the moment. Let me quickly check something else. So, It is done. And yeah, now it's just missing the Chatwell project, but we have that in the solution. So I can just say add project reference, and I can tag that box, select. Takes a moment since it's updating the packages, and we have our package. So that is now also fine. Worker looks good so far. Let's see if we're getting errors. We are getting errors. What's missing? Why is it not seeing that? Yeah, this is, yeah, stupid. I'm not yet used to how the Streamlight.NET 6 stuff works. This program CS is basically not knowing the namespace. So yeah, adding the namespace, the using, and we're back to business. And actually, yeah, that is. Yeah, okay. I am missing something that I have to port over, but for that, I think we already go into the changes, because in the original version here I have a allowed commands file, which is also declared as a singleton here, and this basically just has a list of allowed commands. So this is just more or less just giving out a list. And yeah, I want to change that because that should be configurable. And the logic here in the worker basically just checks where is it? Yeah. So it checks if the message sent as proxy commands when it comes from YouTube, and then it compiles all the commands specified there in the allowed commands to the output, and puts out the list. And here it's basically the other case is basically checking if the command entered is basically in the list of allowed commands, and therefore it basically executes the actual message. Let me just check. Meanwhile, I am going to quickly, because we will take a bit longer, as I was telling so much context in the beginning. Let me just see. I will a bit push the schedule for my Man, thinking while doing stuff today is a bit hard today. I don't know why. Okay, so we will start with our Beat Saber session a bit later, because I would like to transition already. So it will be a bit longer session today. So okay, so this is set up. Now we can continue. Yeah, okay, perfect. It's all configured correctly now, and we can continue. So, plan is now to replace the allowed commands page with some default stuff. And for that, we are going to utilize our data models, and I'm creating a new class called, pretty simply, just command. So we can expand on that later. All the stuff that we want to run through the database, they have to be inheriting basically from this abstract class base model. And this gives the document ID that I showed you earlier, and the internal object ID reference for MongoDB. So we are going to inherit from base model. So we don't have to care about the ID anymore. And for now, I'm just going to steal this property from this class. We're going to add system Newtonsoft JSON, and we're going to add the name property. So what this JSON property line basically does is when the document model is basically stored in MongoDB, which is basically storing everything as JSON objects, the formatting is accordingly, and you could also, without converting anything, use these models here directly for outputting to a API. So when you were creating a RESTful API, you could just create. You don't need to create a separate model for that. You could just output this one. I personally don't like to do that because there can be instances where you want to have where you want to omit certain stuff from the services. For example, I found that the object ID from MongoDB has some issues when you just pipe it into a web server, so when you want to provide this through an API and want to get it properly back, that is causing issues, and therefore I created the approach that you can see in the base model here, with the separate document ID and the MongoDB object ID. So that allows me to reference a document ID in separate API models and still achieve consistency between both. That's why the database is set up that way. So now we have our command, and the nice thing is we can extend this while we're going to build up the application. So if we are adding new fields in the future, this is completely transparent. The setup process will take care of that for us completely. So what we have to do now is we have to go into the Mongodb Collections, and we're going to set up a new one. So this is also done just to make referencing stuff much easier. So we're now creating the command collection. Commands. And we're going to the context. And where is it? Here. And we are now going to set up our command collection. Then we have to go to our index checks, add that accordingly. So check index for command. Is this the right one? Yeah. And of course on the command collection. And that's it. That is the whole database table setup that we have to do. Now we can already use it. So this is very quick and painless. So I don't need more at the moment in the command. What we could do is we could add a property for disabled. Or no, let's use enabled. Enabled. That's a more standard conform thing. And I am writing it large again. No, it has to be small in that case. Enabled. So now we have the two properties. And what we can do is let's create a let's just actually do that in this model here. Let's create a helper method for us. So public static initial setup. I am missing the void keyword. because this method should not return anything and it should be independent of the initialized class. So now we can actually go ahead and we can steal the list that we are already having here. And we include using string to the proxy data. And now we can go ahead and say MongoDB context instance. Or wait, let's say at first we do commands, and this command is get documents, and we want to get the command from the MongoDB collection, command collection. So that basically returns us the whole table. And but actually, let me do that differently. Now that I think about it, just get a query. MongoDB context instance. Query collection. Command. MongoDB collections, command collection. So this gives us now a queryable item. So for that, to make use of that, we need to include system.link and using system collections generic. So now we have everything that we need. And here you see it's an iQueryable, and we can now check now if query English no. Oops. So this gives us the advantage that now that that we have that when we do query, we don't have any issues anymore in regards to if we get an empty query result. So now we can say now we can go through our list. Let me actually do that differently. Where are we? There we are. There is my list. So we are setting this up a bit differently today. So what I'm doing here right now is what was previously these different calls. I am now creating my default command list as an array. One more to go. Oop. Okay, now. So this gives us now a nice array. Why is it giving me now a accept? Perfect. So now we have a command array, and now we can go ahead and say for each var cmd and comments. And then now we can say if not query contains C no, that doesn't work. Okay. Now we have to check var let's call this dbcmd is query where the cname equals cmd. And now we can check if dbcmd equals null or dbcmd since we don't want to check that that we don't already have a result, with that say we negate the any check. Any basically checks just if that particular collection has any entries. And we're going ahead and we so if there is no result or the result list is empty, then we are going ahead and are going to create db context. Oh, where did I mistype? Mongodb small b instance create document type command in the Mongodb collection command collection, and we say new command name is cmd and enabled should be true, and we're setting our document ID to a newly minted GUID string. And that's it. So we have our default list, default command list, and it now gives us and now this basically fills up our database, so we can actually start using the dynamically stored values. Let's go ahead. Yeah, so this is okay. And we can go ahead, and when the worker starts, where is it? We add string proxy data models here anyway, because we need it. And also, of course, we also need data itself. Oops. And of course, we need data itself here as well. Strings data. Okay. And where are we? So after all this stuff, or let's do it at the beginning right away. So load initial supported comments, and now we can just say command initial setup, and that's it. Now we can go down here. And we can now go ahead and call here. We say allowed commands. Come on, commands. And this is an MongoDB context instance get documents command MongoDB group, again our command from our command collection, and yeah. So we already have our allowed commands, and let's do a to list here, so we get a list right away. I'm just thinking if this is the best way to do it, but because loading the list each time to check a message is quite a bit of stuff to do. But if I want to make it really dynamic, I think that's the only way I can do it. So yeah. Let's do it that way for now. So now we can say allowed commands. We can iterate through this. And we can do this. And here we have to now change that to and here we have to change that to document command name, since this is not a string anymore. So this is the command. Let me quickly check. Yeah. Yeah, so this gives us the command list, and when we go to the allowed commands again here, and now we say command name. And we're done. So this is now checking based on our command list that is stored in the database, which commands we if it is a command that is valid. And now we can also check if the command, not only if the message starts with the particular command, but we can also now include that the command needs to be enabled. So if we now set a command to disabled, by default, our default commands here that we're initializing here, they are all set up so that they are enabled. So it checks, so all are by default enabled, and therefore this will be always true if the command name matches, and but we have now the possibility to disable commands in the future. So that part is now fixed. Don't know if there was something else that is currently broken. No, it is not. Perfect. What I just realized though is that I am missing the init for the database. Static void init. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. And this is a bit different in .NET 6 compared to .NET to older .NET versions, because we can do this now right from here. So let me actually quickly gloss over to the other app, because I have to check that. Program. Where is it? Oh no, that was not in that one, it was here. I did not set it up there as well. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So it is basically let's do the initial setup here. Yeah, so let's get to this point here. Now we can say MongoDB context, init. And now we need the connection string. And now this is builder.configuration. And the particular string. Same here, builder configuration. And so set up the MongoDB database context. And actually, let's put this. Yeah, works. Yeah. Let's go to the sample here. We have. Yeah, this is the MongoDB connection string. So MongoDB. Where is it? There it is. MongoDB colon. Then we have the connection string itself. And the database name. Okay. So that covers our database setup. Yeah. So since the configuration is not omnipresent anymore, we will have to make some changes as well for the for our worker here. So let's test if everything checks out compile-wise. Yep, everything fine. Sweet. That is now nice. So let's see. I am currently not sure regarding the debug messages if that is completely set up correctly already. Because I think we don't have anything that is listening to this. No, we don't have. Okay. Or am I just missing some things myself? Info warning error exception. Nope, I'm not missing anything. Okay, perfect. Then let's go ahead. Actually, I'm just thinking aloud. Let's do this here. Track event. So we are wiring up the particular event, and now we can say logger, and depending of what we are getting, so let's say this is a track. Wait. I have to import the event arcs using frame helpers events. Now we can do track event arcs. Log event, let's call it, and this is track event arcs e. So now this is fine, it recognizes it accordingly. We can say, what? Why are you not? No. Log event. Yeah, now we're getting it. So now we can say accordingly, switch log event type case we have info. Now we can say logger log information. And now we just have our message, which we can format quickly. Let's do log event source. Well, let's put this in these ones, the angled brackets. Yeah, come on. And we can have our log event message up, and of course we have to break that case. Warning. So, but this can remain identical, so we just need to do logger log log warning. Oop. Break case some error. Logger log error. Whoop. Break. Oh, there is a semicolon missing, and we have our default case, which is our info message. Bam. So now we have our logging enabled. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, I am missing the break. Break. So that event is now wired up. And yeah, so that's great. What's else? What else is missing? What else is missing? Oh yeah, all the information are missing at the moment. Let's create. It's a bit stupid because we will only have one configuration. But let's create a configuration class model. New file, new class. Let's call it just a config. Right. We need our base model again, so it's wired up correctly. And let me just grab all of our variables that we need. And there we go. Done. Now we can. We're stealing an entry from here again. We need Newtonsoft JSON again for our properties, and we can get going. So, how many properties do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, oops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just speeding up the whole process a bit here. No, that. Up. Set YouTube user email, YouTube Discord token, Discord channel ID. Oh, whoopsie. Twitch username. Twitch account token and Twitch channel. So, the account token is actually the one that we are really interested in, because that is the one that we have to set dynamically. So now we can Enable YouTube. Enable Discord. Google credentials file. YouTube user email. Discord token. Discord channel ID. Twitch username. Twitch access token. And the Twitch channel. Okay. So we have our config. Yep. Actually, what I want to add is a and these one both have to be bool. Yep. Okay. What I also want to have is modified. I want to know when this was modified the last time. Okay, so that is all set up. We have to get back to our collection and set up a new collection. So this is a config collection. Configs. Yep. And we can go ahead. Where is it? There. We need our config collection. Let's jump down there. And we need our collection to be indexed. Config collection. So that is now all set up. And now I go ahead also in the worker. To make this public, static void, set up setup config, and we are just getting a config. New config. Why is it complaining? Oh, whoopsie! This is inside a method. My fault, because this is not using the old namespace declaration. It's uses the inline namespace. And therefore, I was checking for two closing brackets, and yeah, it's only one. So now that's proper. Now we can go ahead again, and we can steal this command configs. Config and the config collection. So, and now we can check if configs is either not initialized or doesn't have any entries. If that is the case, we are going to take our new config that we just got, take its document and create a new to a string. So we have our new document ID, and we go ahead and instance create document of type config and the configs collection, and we give it our new config. So this helper allows us now to go ahead and we take our sample here, and we can now get all our properties that we need. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we take this one and put it here. We initialize the database. Load configuration. And we're just doing worker setup config new. Now we are missing the using statement. Models. New config. So, and now we can go through each and every item. For builder configuration. Why doesn't it like it? Can convert type string to bool. How am I doing it here? Ah. Okay, perfect. And let's just steal those lines. symbol, discard. Builder.configuration. Builder.configuration. And we need a comma. Okay, that was the hard part. So now it's pretty straightforward. So we have the Google credentials. Builder configuration. Yep. Comma. So, and I can copy that, I think 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, no. 5, 6. Okay. That makes stuff a lot easier. Oops. Wrong tab there. Okay, so that reads our configuration file and passes it on to the worker. And what I actually forgot here is... Where is it? Of course, new config. Modified date is now. Oh, sorry. So, well, let me quickly drink something. Okay. I hope it's interesting so far. Feel free to jump in with questions. So, nevertheless, we have our configuration loading part done now. Pretty clean. And yeah, so what we have to do now, where is the configuration part here? Dum 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 dum. Bum bum. This is not okay. That's interesting. Okay, but we remove this now because we don't want that anymore. Okay. Of course, we are now getting errors everywhere. But after setting up our commands here, we're going to get config database. Dun, 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 dun. We are now just doing we go config current configuration equals Mongodb instance get variable. Of course, for the or config. Yep. And of course for our config collection. So and now we just say first or default. Okay. So therefore we have our configuration loaded if everything goes well. And now it's pretty straightforward. Configuration, YouTube enabled. YouTube, enable YouTube, okay. Configuration, enable Discord. Zip. Genau. Configuration, Google, file, YouTube user email, configuration, YouTube user email, and what was it? So we're pretty close right now. So these are the last configuration steps that we have to make now, and then the whole thing should in theory work. So if I did not screw up totally. Configuration Discord token. Here we need the configuration Discord channel ID. Yeah, we have the Twitch username. Configuration Twitch user. The Twitch configuration Twitch account token and configuration Twitch channel. Let me check if I missed something. that I missed. Perfect. So in theory, our whole initialization should now be working. And now let me quickly check something so I can do the right implementation. I'm not showing that on screen, so I don't know if they are showing. Dun, 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 dun. What is this? Twitch? Wait. Bear with me for a moment. Oh, nice. One sec. I quickly have to verify something so I do the right thing. Your application uses okay, perfect. Now we know what we need to do. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So now that we are set up here, so I originally wanted to start with the Beat Saber stream now at 7 p.m. But since we're close, we are going to finish the part that I wanted to finish today. So that part, that stream will start a bit later. So bear with me for the moment. But I think in about 10 minutes we should be ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new page here, and this is a Razor page with a page model, and I call that Twitch Auth, or Twitch Auth, and this will be our Twitch callback page. Okay, let me quickly check something. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, perfect. Wait 1 sec. Where is it? Where is it? Main layout. That it was. No, it wasn't. There. Yeah. Okay. So perfect. That should work out. Okay. That means we need just need this one. Perhaps we don't actually need that. Wait. And the property that we actually need is access token. So okay, let's see if that works. For testing purposes, I am quickly going to disable the hosted service initialization. Let's see. Okay. 2 errors. Oh. Missing semicolons. Zip. Okay. Now we should be golden. And yeah, we are fine. So what we just did is basically we disabled the service to load, but in theory everything else that we just added should be loading. So it should initialize the configuration, it initializes the database, and so on and so forth. So that should all be working. Let's see what it does. Let me, prop up Safari again here for you, and I'm resizing it a bit. So you can actually see also what the output does on the bottom. So is this not set up correctly? That's good. Let me quickly. Okay. Let's see what it does. Okay. Interesting. it's not halted? Interesting. It is not coming up. Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay. Now it came up. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do now is actually test if what it does when we're doing, oops, when we're going Twitch auth, hashtag access token test. Okay, that is not detected. But according to Twitch documentation, they are appending a hashtag to the URI. Question if this is a typo or if they're really doing that. That is a good question right now. It's hard to verify. Nevertheless, let's run it again. Let's include it via question mark. Yeah, now it's coming through. Okay, let's see. Before I screw anything up again, let's end the debugging and request. Ah, nice. Let's see. Query string. Oh, let's just go ahead and say rec s equals request, and then system debug or just track info on rec query string. It's okay. Why is it not? Query string. Why can I not do that? Then just do it to string. Good. Let's see what it does. Let's see if we can check for the hashtag. Two one 27127. Okay. Support. Ooh. Takes a bit for the integrated web server to spin up. Come on, spin up. Ah, there we go. There we go. So, Twitch, oop. Why are you already triggering? I am not even on the page yet. Interesting. And let's try that again with the hashtag. Oop. Interesting. But now we can inspect this. Query string is empty. Query. Path. Let's see. Let me actually hit enter and see what happens. Still empty. Rack. Oh, interesting. It's definitely empty. Huh. Interesting. This is really interesting. I'm just a bit confused. Path? Nothing in there. It's good. It's all right. If it's really a hashtag, that's awkward. And there is not an option to get the raw URL, right? Headers. Dun 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 dun. Results view. Dun 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 dun. Nope. So this is actually ignored. That is not nice. That is not nice. So the hashtag is actually ignored. That is interesting. I thought there was an option to get the raw values from the incoming request, but oh, doesn't look like. Huh. That is interesting. Question is if this is really a hashtag. How do I get that full path? How do I get that access token from Twitch? That's interesting. Huh. That is interesting. Items. Is that? I don't know what is this. Are you? No. Yeah, that is tricky. Tricky. That is weird. I thought I was able to get the raw path. That is interesting. I am a bit flabbergasted right now. So I hope that this is actually a typo. That would be throwing me a wrench. Interesting. Very interesting. So... where are we? So... let me stop debugging. So let's at least try to make this work with... since we saw that when we get the access token via the question mark, via the parameters, then we should be able to get this. Okay, yeah, what we need to do is actually we need to get our data stuff. Where's our worker? There's our worker. I need both of these. We don't need this because this page does not have to do anything. Okay. Wrong. That's the wrong place. That's the right place. So, what we have to do is from same as in our worker. We are getting our configuration. So, first of all, we are checking if access token equals, let's do it properly, if string is null or empty, access token, and we negate that because we want to do that only when it's not empty. Then we're going ahead, we're getting our configuration, and we are going to update the Twitch access token. With our new access token, and we are going to write that stuff back. Update? No, not upload. What was it again? Correct, it was replace document. So config. Mongodb collection, config collection. Then config dot configuration dot document ID configuration. So that updates our configuration. And we of course should update the configuration modify date time now. Sweet. So that should be fine. Okay, I was already thinking about that earlier, and now I'm already at that point. So we have to do a bit more, actually. Because we And now I have to think about that. Because if we do the if we're getting yeah, I think that will take longer than I wanted to take. So yeah, I think we were going to end the development portion of today here, and we're going to utilize once more my previous bot, and we are going to revisit this at another time, because what needs now to happen, because we have now the logic here, and I did not think about that earlier actually, which I should have. Since we are doing this at initial setup of the worker process. So as you can see here, we are setting the where is it? Yeah, we are basically setting the credentials here. Where is it? Credentials. Yeah, so we are setting the credentials here initially and setting up the connection. And here we are connecting at startup of the whole process. But what we would need to do is we would need to stop that process. Question is, another thing would be to try app get service. Wait, can we do that? Get service worker. Gets service of the type. No, that's because the service provider that we are looking at. Okay, no, that actually works. It could work. That could work. Let me think about that. So we perhaps don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, now I'm doing more than I wanted to, but let's do that. Generic. Twitch update event arcs. Yep. So event arcs. I don't know, that's stupid. Yeah, that's stupid. Or oh, let's leave it. So let's create something. Let's take an empty class. Let's call this event manager. create. Constructor is private. Private static. Object. Think root. New object. Private static. Instance. Oop. Public static instance. Get lock sync root if instance equals null, instance equals new keyword is missing, and return. And we have our single. So let's now craft our public event handler to which using stream helpers events. To which update event args, which update received. And now we can go ahead here and we get the helper using string helpers events. Okay, and now we can call event manager instance to which invoke this new DOM. Okay, perfect. And now we can go ahead here. Question is, where do I set this best up? Where do I best set this up? Probably best here, right? No. Let's do it after we started the before we start the app. App services. No. First I need to using stream cmd proxy to helpers. Let's do it afterwards. Event manager instance Twitch update sender e oops There is a equal sign too much. E. So when this happens, oops. When this happens, we want to do the following: app services get service of type worker, and we want to what we want to do is async. Does that work? Yep, it does work. So we have to put a wait in front of this. We want to stop wait. Where is it? How to do this properly? Da-da. This is correct. New. Okay. And then we want to do app services. Get service worker. Oh. Worker. Dun-dun. And we want to start it again. Wait a sec. Let me. Yeah, no. I will check that for next time, because this is wrong. What I'm doing here. This is definitely because I don't. Or can I get the current token? That way. Doesn't look that way. Nope. Because I want to do it the right way. Because what we have to do is when we get the new token from Twitch, I have to restart that service. For YouTube and Discord, it's handled automatically, but since we have to create the endpoint, that doesn't work. So, yeah. Okay, so now that I got way over time, we are going to finally to start with some Beat Saber. I am way too late today. This has gone much longer than I originally planned. But what do you want to do? Okay. So, well, how that will work now is I will basically put you on the Twitch stream on the getting started graphics, and though for a moment because I have to transition the green screen that is currently behind me over to my other area, so that lighting and everything works properly. And actually I forgot to move the actual light for the setup, so there will be a 5 minute of setup for Beat Saber, and I will connect to the YouTube stream for that as well, so that we can then get started with some Beat Saber. So let me get all set up here. Or did YouTube already kill the announcement? No, it's still there. Perfect. Okay. I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. I will probably make that video because of my small oopsie earlier. Make this invisible for YouTube, and will re-up it later on with that section cut out, and yeah, it will be available in a few days again. So for those who are not coming over to the Beat Saber stream, thank you very much for watching. For those who want to join in, for those on YouTube, there is a link to the Beat Saber stream down below in the video's description. So I hope to see you there, and yeah, have a nice rest of the weekend for those who are not joining in for Beat Saber.